All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, it's getting down to the nitty gritty and race for the Heisman Trophy as college football's best player for this year. And it really looks like it's going to be someone from the Rocky Mountain region. And I say this because for me, I think it's either going to be Mr. Do It All for Colorado, Travis Hunter, or that phenomenal running back at Boise State and Ashton Jeanty. And honestly, it would be hard to go wrong with either player because they both are extremely deserving of the Heisman for the respective seasons that they're putting up. Travis Hunter, this season, never really came off the field for the Colorado Buffaloes. As you're talking about a guy that played wide receiver and defensive back basically for the entire game. This season, Hunter had 92 catches for more than 1,100 yards with 14 receiving touchdowns. He also had one receiving touchdown, rushing touchdown, excuse me. And then on top of that, he had four interceptions on defense for the Buffaloes. So far this season, Ashton Jeanty has nearly 2,300 yards on the ground for Boise State, 28 touchdowns on the ground, and he's averaging more than 7 yards per carry. And I think what got the attention of a lot of people in regards to Ashton Jeanty, go back to the second game of the season for Boise State when they went to Eugene and took on Oregon, lost to the Ducks, the number one team in the nation right now, by just 3 points on their home field. And that right there was a real eye opener. He had 25 carries in that game, a buck 92, and three rushing touchdowns as the Ducks couldn't stop him. And honestly, every Boise opponent that has faced Ashton Jeanty so far this season really has not been able to stop him. You're talking about a guy who so far this season has 5 games where he's rushed for at least 200 yards, including just this past Friday at home against Oregon State, where he had 226 yards on 37 carries. Like I said, both Jeanty and Hunter are very vital to the success of their respective teams this year. We saw Colorado go 9-3. They just missed out on getting to the Big 12 championship game. While for the Broncos of Boise State, they're 11-1. They're hosting the Mountain West Conference championship game this Friday night as they are hopeful to win that game and get to the college football playoff. And the way things are looking right now, the Broncos might have a first round bye if they win out, of course. But you look at both of these guys, and my one question is this: if, as far as Travis Hunter goes, will Colorado not getting to the Big 12 championship game hurt him? And the only reason I say that is because Jeanty has the opportunity or will have the opportunity to play for Boise this Friday night in the Mountain West Championship game. Another opportunity for him to go out there and show what he can do. He's facing UNLV. UNLV is one of the top teams. I do believe they're ranked this week. And then on top of that, it's a rematch because the Broncos and Rebels did meet off in Vegas earlier this year. But nonetheless, if Jeanty hasn't been another big game, it's another opportunity for him to showcase what he can do on the football field to the voters. But again, it's very hard to argue with the season that Jeanty is having. And of course, Travis Hunter is no slouch either because, again, this guy plays every down. For me, it's a toss up, but I'm going to give the edge to Travis Hunter. And there's no disrespect to Ashton Jeanty. I think back to 1997 when Charles Woodson won the Heisman Trophy for Michigan and helping them win the national championship. Of course, Woodson was the all-world DB at corner that year for the Wolverines. He was returning punts. And then on top of that, they had packages for him, especially over the second half of the season at wide receiver. This time around, Travis Hunter's basically playing wide receiver all game, playing DB all game as well. And the young man simply does not come off the field. He's a throwback player to a different era in football. We see it happen at the high school level consistently, okay, but not as much at the college level, and definitely not at the pro level. You might have a package for a guy here or there in the special moments, but not like this. It's one of those where you really couldn't go wrong either way because I think at this point, by the time Friday's over with, we're probably looking at Ashton Jeanty having 2,500 yards for the season. And it's one of those where if Ashton Jeanty gets to the 2,500 yard mark rushing, more than likely it means that Boise beat UNLV again and got to the college football playoff. Nonetheless, like I said before, you really can't go wrong either way. But if I did have a vote, clearly I don't, my money would be on Travis Hunter. It's really hard to bet against this kid being on the field so much and not just being on the field, having an impact at so many different positions on the football field. This is a great Heisman race. Let's see who gets it, whether it's going to be Jeanty from Boise or if it's going to be Travis Hunter from Colorado. But, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.